going on, everybody? It's your girl Turtle, and I am back again with another tier list video. So in today's tier list, I'm going to be ranking the Plants vs. Zombies plants from the very first original game. So how I'm going to be ranking them is basically based off of my own personal opinions, like how effective and useful they are, pretty much, if that makes sense. And then obviously I feel like currency plays a role into this, but I don't remember all the currencies for each one. I know I know most of them, but kind of bear with me because it's been a hot minute since I've played Plants vs. Zombies. But how we're going to rank them, the tier listing ranks are, we have Plantastic, CherryBomb.com, Mild Spicy Pepper, Average Cabbage, and then just kind of useless, so basically, obviously, Plantastic, they're, the best ones in the whole entire, game, in my opinion. CherryBomb.com, which means, they are super beneficial, amazing, maybe, not God-tier type level plants, but, definitely, in second, category based. Mild Spicy Pepper, that means these are average plants, they're pretty decent, even though I just said average, then you got Average Cabbage, which means they're average to just a below average, maybe a little bit more. They're okay. And then you got kind of useless, which means it's basically those plants aren't really effective, they're not really useful as much as they could be. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and go through the lineup. So I'm going to start with one of the most basic ones, obviously, is the pea shooter. So pea shooter, obviously this isn't me putting it in a spot yet. Pea shooter, mind you guys, is pretty much the first plant that you start out with. They're pretty useful for the most part. You use them for the majority of the game, I would say, because they're relatively cheap and effective. They're able to take down a normal zombie, a conehead zombie, bucket head. I don't think they can, if I recall. I think that one's kind of iffy. If they do, it's at the very bottom line. They barely get them, but I don't think they do. Overall, they're pretty, I would put them in Mild Spicy Pepper just because they're a pretty average plant for the most part, but they're also very useful at the same time. I wouldn't sit there and be oh yeah, they're the best ever because, it's just a normal pea shooter. But, the good thing about them, like I said, they're a starter plant, they're cheap and easy and stuff, and they get the job done pretty well. The next one I'm going to add in is probably going to be the sunflower. So the sunflower, I'm actually going to put in CherryBomb.com for the simple fact it's a currency-based plant. Since in Plants vs. Zombies, all the plants that you are trying to get cost sun, the sunflower is a very useful plant, especially during nighttime levels and stuff like that where you don't get natural sun. They help produce off the sun, which is really nice, and they're relatively cheap. I think they're 50 sun, if I believe right. Not only are they cheap and stuff, but they do produce sun at a really steady rate and stuff. That way you can keep planting other plants. So I would definitely say the sun is at CherryBomb.com. It's obviously not plantastic, I don't think, but they are definitely one of the most effective plants in the game just because of the fact that they produce your currency. Next, I'm going to do the frozen pea shooter. So when it comes to the frozen pea shooter, I feel like the frozen pea shooter, I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but it's actually one of my favorite plants. I would sit there and maybe not put it at CherryBomb.com, but I am going to put it in the Mild Spicy Pepper above the pea shooter because all it really is just basically a frozen pea shooter. Exactly what that is basically all it is. So it shoots out one just like a pea shooter, but the difference is not only does it do damage, but it also kind of freezes them up a little bit and makes them slower pretty much, which is really nice to have because especially for the bucket head zombie, it helps to slow them down. So the frozen pea shooter has a better chance of actually killing the bucket head zombie than the normal pea shooter does. So that's why they're gonna go in Mild Spicy Pepper, but I would put them above the pea shooter because they are relatively just slightly better than the pea shooter is. Alrighty, the next one I'm gonna rank is the Cherry Bomb. So the Cherry Bomb is pretty cool. What I like about this plant is it's really nice to have something that you can hurry up and use fast, quick, and easy. When you're in a hurry to kill a zombie off because maybe another plant couldn't do it in time. I do like them. They do blow up in a certain radius and stuff, so you can actually kill more than just one zombie in with one cherry bomb. It just really depends. It depends on how close of a radius they are to the cherry bomb. And it does in a small little section, so it's pretty cool. I'm probably going to put this at CherryBomb.com because, they are cherries for one, so that's kind of funny. But also because I feel like the plant itself has definitely proven to like really help in like those aspects with like making sure like, you know, when your other plants don't successfully stop the zombies, it's really nice to have like that backup to be able just to wipe them out like right then and there. So I would probably put them at cherrybomb.com. They were almost a mild spicy pepper, just for the simple fact like, you know, it's a one use thing, but that's kind of like the thing with them is that that's what they're meant for, so I can't really be too harsh on them. So they're gonna be like a very low cherrybomb.com. Alrighty, the next one I'm going to do is the regular walnut. So the regular walnut, I actually like the walnut. It's really nice that like they give you like a shield based type of plant. That way it can help protect like the other plants, especially against like zombies that are harder to kill, like the buckethead, football player, like, you know, like the harder ones that have like metal stuff on them. The only thing the only ones like are like issuing is that the catapult zombie can jump over them, and and then also the ladder dude. I don't remember what kind of zombie he is. I don't remember, but he's like the one that has a ladder or whatever. So like he can like use that and climb over it. But the worst part about hold on. Sorry, that was weird. But the worst part about it with the ladder is that the other zombies can climb too over that. So that makes it like really upsetting. So for the regular walnut, I'm going to put it at a mild spicy pepper just because it's an average plant. But it's over average, I would say, just because like, you know, he's really great with defense and stuff. So that way like the other plants can like kill off like the other ones. If that makes sense. So it's like really nice to have like some type of protection, and they're relatively cheap too. I think they take a little minute to like recharge, but all in all I would say the walnut's a pretty good plant. Next I'm going to do the potato mine. I think the potato mine is like one of the cutest little things ever. Like look at his little teeth. Look at his little teeth, they're so cute. I'm probably going to put him on cherrybomb.com only because he's like the same thing as a cherry bomb, but he's actually cheaper, I believe, than the cherry bomb. I think he's like 25 sun, which is like one of the cheapest plants in the game. The recharge, I feel like is pretty decent. Sorry, I felt something on my head and it was a balloon, and it freaked me out, like the string of the balloon, because I was like, it felt like something was crawling on my head. I apologize. Anyway, so with the potato mine though, like I would definitely put them on the cherrybomb.com just because they're cheap, they charge pretty decently, and it's really nice to have them like as a startup, like to like help protect as well. I think they're really like nice to use for the most part. I would put them at a low part of the cherrybomb.com, closer to the mild spicy pepper, but like I really do like the potato mine a lot. Alrighty, next we have the repeater. So the repeater is basically the pea shooter but 2.0 pretty much, because it does a double pea. So like it shoots out 2 at a time versus 1, and they're a little more expensive. I would probably put them though in the cherrybomb.com category only because they're over like the pea shooter. Even they cost more, they do more damage because they do 2 at a time versus just the 1. So it's like really nice to like have that, I would say, for the most part. So I think that's really cool. I would not put him in Plantastic because there's obviously plants I feel like they're like definitely outshine him, and I even feel like the sunflower kind of outshines him just because the simple fact the sunflower literally, like I said, is a currency based plant. But all in all, I really like them a lot. Next, we have Chomper. I love Chomper. I think he's like one of my favorite plants in the game. So even though like a lot of these are my favorite, I'm ranking them based off of like, you know, certain criteria when it comes to like currency, reloading, like the recharge on them, and like how effective they are. I am going to put him in the mild spicy pepper, even though he's one of my favorite plants. I have to say his recharge is a little slower than I would like. He is a pretty decent sun amount. I feel like he's not overly priced. I feel like his pricing's pretty good. And he does, but the only thing I don't like about him is he takes forever to chew up the zombies. Other than that though, he's really great. I freaking love him to death. So I probably would put him like at a very high, I would say, just because he is one of my favorites and I don't want to do him bogus like that. But at the same time, I cannot rank something high when it's not really that effective. Like he's effective, but then he's not, if that makes sense. But you know, it's okay. I love him still. Alrighty, moving on. I think we're moving on to the actual, like, I'm gonna do the nighttime plants. So we have, let's see, where is the Sunshroom? Is there no Sunshroom? Yeah, I swear. Oh, no, it's right there. I was like freaking out for a second. I'm like, how is there a tier list of Plants vs. Zombies without a Sunshroom? Okay, Sunshrooms are really cool. I love the Sunshroom. I would probably put them in a cherrybomb.com. I really like them a lot for the simple fact, like, they are also a currency base and you can put them during your nighttime level. They do cost less than the sunflower only because they are small when they're like first starting, and they grow, and as they grow they give you like more sun currency, if that makes sense. So like the smaller they are, the less you get, but once they like grow all the way, they give you the same amount, like they give you the bigger amount pretty much. I think they're really cool and useful. I think it's like really nice to have like a secondary like way to use it. Obviously, I don't think they're as cherrybomb.com as the regular sunflower, but they're definitely useful, and I really like them a lot. Next is the what the heck are you called? My brain just clicked off for a second. Hold on. Okay, the puff shroom. Little puff shroom. He's so freaking cute. I think he's adorable. It's crazy because he's one of the only plants in the game that's actually free. His range is very short though. But he does a lot of damage for being a little guy. I will definitely give him credit where it's due. Like, he definitely does a good amount of damage, and it's really nice because like you can really do like a lot of your nighttime levels by using the puff shroom, and he does like effective amount of damage to the like a lot. So I'm gonna put him at a very low cherrybomb.com. I know people are gonna be kind of controversial about him because they feel like he probably will go into a lower category. I'm only putting him there because I just think he's very effective for the fact that he's free. It literally doesn't cost you anything, and his recharge is like super quick too on top of that. So it's like really nice to have a plant you can hurry up and just place down. And like literally if you place down like 3 of them in like a row in each row or the columns or whatever, like using 3 of them is just as effective as using like a regular pea shooter. So I honestly prefer to use him over the pea shooter sometimes, even though I think he does less damage on certain aspects. I just think all in all for like what you get is like pretty nice since he's free. So yeah. Next, I'm gonna do the Hypno Shroom. I freaking love the Hypno Shroom. It is one of my favorite plants in the game. What's really cool about the Hypno Shroom is the fact that you can place it down and it doesn't matter what zombie it is. Once that zombie eats that plant, it basically fights for you. That is amazing. I know a lot of people think I'm putting this one at high, but I am definitely putting this one in Plantastic just because of how cool it is. And it looks cool. Like, I love the colorations on this plant. I feel like it's really nicely affordable. I think the recharge is a little slower than I like, but to be fair, this plant, like, what it gives you is, like, pretty cool because you literally can have a zombie fight for you. And that is so effective, especially, like, if it's, like, a football zombie or, like, a disco zombie. You know what I mean? Like, it's really nice to be able to, like, have something like where it can turn others, like it could turn another zombie against the others. So like I'm definitely gonna put it on Plantastic because I freaking love using this guy. I just think he's really cool. I mean, you guys can like agree to disagree on stuff like this. You know, we all have our own opinions and stuff, and obviously if you guys think the Hypno Shroom doesn't belong there, that's on you guys, but I would give him at least a low Plantastic. Like, he's not the highest one, but he's definitely like at least the lower one on the verge of being a cherrybomb.com high, if that makes sense. We're gonna do Scaredy Shroom next. So Scaredy Shroom is pretty cool for the most part. I'm gonna put it right here. The thing with him though, I don't like, I mean, I get that's in his name. He does a pretty good amount of damage, but the only issue is he hides. He's a little punk you guys didn't hear that. He's a little punk. Like, he just hides. He literally just, like, if the zombie gets too close, he hides and just dies pretty much. I'm gonna put him on average cabbage just because I really don't like him that much. I don't really use him a lot when I play, to be honest with you. Like, I use him maybe for like 1, maybe 2 night mode levels, and that's about it. But like, I just don't think he's like that useful as he should be. And my cat's playing with the balloon right now, so sorry, I was just like looking back at him real quick. So I'm gonna put him on average cabbage. I wouldn't say he's useless, but like at the same time, I'm not really a big fan of him, honestly. I'm really not. Alright, next I'm gonna do Gravebuster. So I know a lot of people are gonna not like this one probably. I don't know how people feel about Gravebuster, but I'm gonna put him on the kind of useless category. I'm so sorry for anybody who likes him. I'm not saying I don't like him and I've never used him before, but like literally I hardly ever use him ever, because all he does is eat a grave, so that way the zombies don't pop out of it. But the thing is, I usually never have problems with those graves. Usually, for the most part, I usually clear out the level pretty easily without him, honestly. And I just kind of find him useless. I really don't have a need for him. Like, you know, I just don't think he's all this and that. Like, I kind of feel like it's a waste of suns. Because by the time, like, anything even pops out of the graves and the waves, you already have a nice, you should already have, like, a nice defense going on with the other plants. So I just feel like he's not really, like, needed that much. I mean, he's really cool, don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's needed. That's just my opinion, though, honestly. Next, we got Fume Shroom. So, Fume Shroom is pretty cool because this guy freaking goes through, if I believe right, he goes through the screen door zombie. Nice and easy. Does pretty good amount of damage. I'm gonna put him at a very high, mild, spicy pepper. I feel like he's like a little above average, but he is very effective for the simple fact he does do the screen door damage, and he's like the only one that does it like quickly. So he's definitely useful in that aspect. Like I said, he does really good range and stuff. He does does a good amount of damage and stuff for the most part. I actually like him a lot. I do use him like once, like a couple different rounds or whatever, but all in all, he's pretty decent. I like him a lot. Next up, we have Doom Shroom. So, Doom Shroom is pretty cool. I actually like Doom Shroom a lot. I like the way he looks. He's so funny looking. Doom Shroom, I'm probably going to put him on the cherrybomb.com. Because I like what he does. I love, like, the damage that he does. It's pretty nice. He's, like, super effective to use and stuff. He's one of my favorite mushrooms to use, honestly. I just think he's really cool all in all. And he does a pretty good amount of damage, too, which is awesome. Like, he kills them, like, right then and there. So it's, like, pretty cool. It's almost like using, like, the other things, like the cherry bomb and the potato mine. They're just, like, super effective when you kind of need them, pretty much. And then we got the Ice Shroom. Ice Shroom's pretty cool because literally when you place this dude down, it freezes like a great amount of zombies and stuff, and it's like so cool. I freaking love it. It like is like very beneficial when you're fighting stuff. I'm probably gonna put this one also on cherrybomb.com because I really like the Ice Shroom a lot. I just think it all in all does what it needs to do. Next is the Lily Pad. Lily Pad obviously is useful for what it needs. I'm just going to put on average cabbage though, even though it's effective to have because you need to, the only thing I hate is that you have to have him for the pool ones pretty much, and like for you to be able to place other plants down besides like the ones that go in the water. For you to be able to place the suns, the pea shooters, any of them, you have to have the Lily Pad. So like he is useful for that aspect, but other than that he does nothing else, literally nothing else. He just sits there. And I feel kind of bad for him, but, like, that's why he has on average cabbage, because he's not useless, because he does have a use because of, like, the pool levels, but it's all he's useful for. Literally, it's just that. Nothing else. Nothing more. So he goes under average cabbage just because he doesn't do anything else. I'm definitely going to put him over at least the Scaredy Shroom, because at least he's not, like, punking and stuff. At least he's holding up the team or whatever type stuff. Alright, next we're going to do the Tangled Kelp, or whatever the hell he's called. I like this dude a lot. He's really cool. He kind of gives me Pokemon vibes, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, I don't know why, he just gives me Pokemon vibes. I am going to put him in the cherrybomb.com, only because he kind of reminds me of a way, like in a one-use kind of thing with the whole cherry bombs and the potato mines and all the other ones. Like, he literally is that for water. He literally grabs the zombie and pulls them under and basically kills them. He is super effective when it comes to like the what's it called, the freaking zombie with the zombie dolphin and stuff like that. Like super effective, like the little like with like the scuba diver as well. Like I love that he's able to take them under and stuff, because the only issue is like the other plants can't shoot them if they go under the water. So like he's really nice to have because he pulls them under instantly the moment they get too close. So I really like him a lot for that. Next we're gonna do the Squash. So Squash, same thing. I'm gonna put him in the mild spicy pepper because I don't really use him a lot, but he is effective. He's just like everybody else with the whole one-shot kill thing. The moment a zombie gets too close, he squishes them, which is funny because his name, goes with the Squash thing. Sorry, if you guys heard a little smack, I'm sorry. My cat was trying to chew on my phone cord, and we're not doing that tonight. Sorry, I was just trying to get him to stop because he was just going for it. So, but yeah, so squash goes in mild spicy pepper. Alrighty, next on the list, oh, whoops. I did not mean to do that, guys. Next on the list, we have the 3-peater. So, basically, this is literally the same thing as, like, it's basically like this pea shooter and the repeater. It's literally, instead it's just 3. The main difference with this one, though, I think what it is, he literally shoots them. Not only does he shoot 3 at a time, but in different directions. So it's not just in a straight line. Like, it goes, like, up and down also. Because, like, where the heads are positioned at. So, I would probably put this one... This one's tough. This one's a little tougher because it's pretty expensive as well. I don't really use them a lot, to be honest with you guys. I really don't. I really have no use for them. I have, like, my own strategies and stuff, and I usually never use a 3-peater. I think I'm gonna put them in a mild spicy pepper. I'm just gonna put them, like, randomly there. I just feel like I don't really use them a lot, honestly. Like, they're effective, don't get me wrong, but, like, I personally just don't really, like, mess with them like that, so I just don't really, like, think they're all that, this and that, in my opinion. I could be wrong. You guys could tell me how you feel. Sorry if I hurt you guys' feelings. Next, we have jalapeno. Jalapeno is just like the cherrybomb.com. Instead of doing it in a radius, like, he basically does it in a line. So, like, if you put him in the column, he basically strikes through the whole column and takes whatever's in that out, and I think that's pretty freaking cool. So I'm gonna put him in the cherrybomb.com just because he does that or whatever. I think that's pretty awesome. Alrighty. Next we have Torchwood. Yeah, sorry, I had to think about which one I was doing next. Torchwood. So Torchwood is pretty freaking cool. I actually think he's, like, one of my favorites. What I like about him is if you put him in front of a pea shooter, what he basically does is he turns them into a flaming pea. So that way it does more effective damage. The only thing I don't like, if I believe this right, if you accidentally put him in front of a frozen pea shooter, though, it turns them into a normal pea. So he's, like, effective, and I like him a lot. So I'm probably going to put him at a very, like, high, mild, spicy pepper because he's really cool, but, like, he's, like, not one of my favorites. But he definitely does his job. I definitely like using him once in a while. I wouldn't say I use him a lot. Like, he's a little above average, but, like, he's not, like, cherrybomb.com. So I'm going to put him in a mild, spicy pepper for that. Then we have spikeweed. I think spikeweed is pretty freaking cool for the most part because one of the best things I love about him, he can't be eaten because of how low he is. They literally just walk over him and he does damage, and he's really effective for, like, for anything with wheels and stuff like that, to pop them and stuff. And he does a pretty good amount of damage, and the fact that he doesn't get eaten is pretty cool. I'm probably gonna put him, though, in the mild spicy pepper. I don't really use him a lot except for the levels that require him, really. So he's pretty cool. I'll put him, like, a little higher though, but he's still pretty cool. Then we have Tall Nut. Tall Nut is pretty cool. I think he's awesome. He's so big. It's great. So I'm going to put him at a low cherrybomb.com because he's basically just a 2.0 version of the walnut anyway. But he's a lot bigger, so, like, it takes much more for them to actually take him down. So, like, having him as, like, a frontal shield is, like, pretty awesome because, like, they literally take forever to eat him. Yeah, he might be a little more on the expensive side and all that stuff, but he's definitely worth it when you have, like, a really good defense system and you don't want them to get eaten and stuff, so it's, like, really nice to have that. Alrighty. Next we have the sea shroom. So the sea shroom is basically a nighttime mushroom plant that also goes in the water. Basically what he reminds me of, like, this other smaller shroom. The thing with him, he has, like, the same range and stuff. He's, like, very small and stuff. I don't think he's free, but he's definitely, like, super cheap, which is really nice. But I'm gonna keep him in the mild spicy pepper just because I don't think he's really all this and that. Like, he's nice to have, like, for, like, those levels because you don't have to use, like, a lily pad. So I feel like he's better in that aspect. But at the same time, I just don't think he's, like, all bad, to be honest with you guys. Sorry. Not trying to hurt feelings. Then we got Blover, if I believe that's the name. Basically what Blover does, they basically, like, knock the, like, the fog levels out of the way so you could see, but the fog does come back, unfortunately. That's like the only downfall, and the blower is like literally one use, so you have to be careful when you're placing it. I'm gonna keep that one on an average cabbage just because like it's an average plant. I mean, you don't really need to use it really that much unless you really want to. They're useful in their own way, just really not something I use a lot of, to be honest with you. Let's see. Alright, next we got Planturn. So Planturn is for like is like pretty useful in its own way. Like it's the same thing kind of like as the blower, except for it actually stays. And it basically shines a light around the fog, not the full thing, but like in a certain like radius. And it basically shows you what's coming. I kind of personally though, I don't really ever use the Planturn really that much, to be honest with you. Maybe once in a while, so I'm gonna keep on average cabbage just because I just think it's kind of I don't really like use it a lot. It's kind of like blower. It's like it's okay. Next is the cactus. Cactus, I feel like, is mild spicy pepper for the simple fact like he does a pretty good amount of damage and stuff. He's a little more expensive than some of the other plants, like the pea shooter, I believe, not by much though. What I do like about him is he's great for like the balloon zombie. That way he comes all the way, because like what cactus does, he'll like go like grow himself up and then shoot like a thorn to pop the balloon, which is nice. That way the zombie isn't going over the other plants. So like he's useful in that aspect, which is why I'm not putting him on average cabbage, because he does do that. Other than that though, his damage range is like no different than some of the other plants. So I'm gonna put him on mild spicy pepper just for that, since he can get rid of the balloon zombies better. So yeah. Alright, next I have Split Pea. Split Pea is basically a backwards pea shooter, so basically they shoot front and back, which is very beneficial if you have like the miner zombie, because they dig underneath, so then they start eating your plants from like the beginning plant to the last. What's nice about having the pea shooter like facing backward is that it gets rid of that, but other than that, like it really has no other effective use. So I'm gonna kind of put it under the average cabbage for that reason. Actually, kind of want to put it on the kind of useless, honestly. I kind of do. Because the thing with that is if the miner goes under and there's a potato mine, right then and there, guess what? Boom. Blows up. Or you can use literally anything else to blow up, because they don't really put that many miner zombies like that. So actually, I'm going to put this one guy under kind of useless, because I never use him, ever. I kind of just think you can use other things and strategies, just like I said, like the potato mine, cherry bomb, or something else to kind of kill the guy off and stuff. Just, because if you just eat your sunflower, you can hurry up and just put like a explosive thing down, and like boom, it blows them up, and then you just place another sunflower down. I just think that's just my mindset. I don't really think I use the split pea a lot, to be honest with you guys. The starfruit. Starfruit is definitely a very beneficial plant. I'm actually going to kind of put the starfruit at the very high cherrybomb.com, not the Plantastic though. What I love about the starfruit is like, not only are they like decently cheap and stuff, but they shoot in different direction range because it's a star. So instead of just shooting in just one column, it literally like shoots out in different directions. So it's like really cool because you could use it for, like for other strategies and stuff. I know people use them for strategies, and all in all, they do pretty good damage and stuff. So I think they're a really cool plant overall, and just in my personal opinion. Next, we're gonna do the pumpkin. The pumpkin is literally just like the walnut, except for the difference is between the walnut and the tall nut. The pumpkin goes over the top of your plant. I don't know how exactly like the range of how long they last. I don't know which one lasts longer between the walnut and the pumpkin, but what's cool about the pumpkin, it saves you column spaces so you can put other plants down. So I love that a lot. So we're gonna put him in the very low cherrybomb.com, because I think he's kind of an upgraded version of the walnut, only because like my favorite thing about him is literally you can place him on top of other plants on the same like little like section. And I'm pretty sure you could put him on the tall nut and the walnut too, which is kind of cool because it's like a double like shield, and it's like really cool, just in my personal opinion. We got the magnet dude. Freaking love this guy. I think he's honestly one of my favorite plants to use. I'm gonna put him in Plantastic. I know a lot of people think that's a little too high for him, but tell me this dude is literally amazing. Like, he gets rid of all the metal stuff, so the bucket head, the helmet off the zombie. I'm pretty sure he takes the door, the miner's tool, like the pickaxe, he takes away. He literally takes away pretty much anything metal, and it's amazing to me. I think he literally has one of the best uses in the game. He's not super expensive, and he like doesn't. It's not just a one-use thing unless he gets eaten or whatever. He literally just takes a minute to recharge. Like, not recharge, like, to buy him. I don't know exactly the range on that. But I mean, like, to, like, how, like, the chomper plant, how he, like, chews up the food and, like, chews up the zombie, like, food and swallows it. Well, eventually, the magnet eventually, like, goes back to life after taking it away. And I don't think it takes that long. It takes kind of a decent amount of time, but it's not terrible. But I definitely think the magnet is definitely fantastic. I think he's awesome. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Alrighty, moving on to the roof plants, I believe. So we're going to start off with the pot. Lily the pot is the same thing as the damn lily pad. Literally, you only use them to place the plants on something that they can't be placed on. Other than that, they have no other use. So they're going on average cabbage only because they have literally one use. Then you got the cabbage pulp. Cabbage pulp is literally just a cabbage pulp version of the pea shooter, so they're gonna go in the mild spicy pepper category because literally the only difference is they catapult it all the way over because of the roof. Other than that, they're literally the same thing as the pea shooter, so I don't really think they're all that. Now, I love this guy. The corn pulp, the kernel pulp, whatever the heck they call him. I'm pretty sure it's kernel pulp. But anyway, what I like about him is he shoots out corn kernels, but then he shoots out a slab of butter. So he's going in the cherrybomb.com for the simple fact he literally, like, not only does damage with the kernels of the corn, but he also shoots out a butter one, like, every other couple times, which it actually freezes the zombie, like, in place, like the butter stops them, so that way the other plants and himself can do more damage while they're stuck in place for, like, a little bit. And it's, like, really awesome that they do that. Like, I think it's pretty freaking cool. Next up we have the coffee bean. So the coffee bean, honestly, I'm going to put it in kind of useless. All it does is just wake up the nighttime plants during the daytime. And honestly, like, you could literally beat the levels without them. Like, the only time you really need the nighttime plants is really for nighttime. I really don't see the thing. Because the problem with the coffee bean, it's a one-use thing just to wake up another plant. And it takes up a whole space for a whole other plant you could be using in those levels. So, in my opinion, I think the coffee bean's kind of useless. Because you really don't need the other ones. You really don't. You don't need the other plants. You could literally beat the levels without them. Like the daytime levels, honestly. You really just don't need them. Next you have garlic. So the garlic is pretty cool. I'm not putting him in kind of useless. I'm just talking about him a little bit. So what happens is when a plant, not a plant, I said a plant. When a zombie goes to eat on him, he basically diverts them into another lane or the columns or whatever. So it's like really cool because you could like do different strategies with him. So I'm going to put him actually up top here in the cherrybomb.com. I think it's pretty cool that you're able to like move him over and stuff. Because like you could like literally like move him over to like a chomper plant or something like that. You know, and just kill them off instantly and just get them out of the way. So, like, if, like, you're having problems in a lane, you could just push them onto other lanes to die. And I think that's pretty effective. Then you got the marigold plant. I'm going to put in kind of useless. All it does is produce money. That's literally all it does. It has no beneficial to go against the zombies when it's just producing money. Considering that zombies drop money and stuff, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have the money because you can use it for, like out of like the regular story mode game stuff, but personally I just think they're kind of useless. I never use them. That's just my personal opinion though. You guys can have your own. You got the melon pulp. I love the melon pulp. I'm gonna put this guy in the cherrybomb.com. So when it comes to him, put him up here. Like he does a great amounts of damage. I love this guy. Like he's super heavy-handed. Like the melon pulp does a lot of good damage and stuff, and he's like really effective on the roof levels and stuff. I think he's just overall like a good plant to have, honestly. Then you got the umbrella leaf. The umbrella leaf, basically all they do is if a bungee zombie, or I think it's also the catapult zombies, if they basically are in that range, it basically stops them from doing what they can do by blocking it off. For example, the bungee zombie, it comes down and takes plants away. So it is nice to have the umbrella leaf, kind of, sort of. for the most part. But I really don't really see, I would probably put it on average cabbage because it's not completely useless because it does have like a nice use. I just don't use it enough for it to be something I would put in a higher category if you want my honest opinion. But I mean, all in all, it's a pretty cool plant though. So. Alright, next you got the Imitator. So the Imitator is pretty cool. I'm going to probably put him at the, did not mean to do that, at the Plantastic, because it's really nice to have when you're trying to, because you could produce so much more sun because they can imitate being a sunflower, and then you're just like producing like extra sun. Because it's like really nice to have him because he can like imitate other plants and stuff, but he's like a really good one to use for like strategy based when you're trying to get extra suns and stuff. That way you can like hurry up and like build up your defense because you can like pick him up and like replace them with the actual plants or whatever. So it's like pretty cool. Basically that's all that's left is basically all the upgraded versions. So you got like the Gatlant Pea. This guy is definitely like going in like the cherrybomb.com, even though he's super expensive. Like he's super cool to have though because he basically like shoots out like look at him, you could just tell he literally shoots out so many and stuff at a time, and like it does like a great amount of damage. I wouldn't put him in Plantastic just because I don't really use him like that, but he's definitely effective. You got the Twin Sunflowers. This one is definitely going in Plantastic. I love the Twin Sunflowers. Basically having double sun off of just one plant is awesome. I just all in all think it's a great plant. Decently priced in my opinion. I don't think it's overly priced that much. Like I said, all in all, it's a great plant. I love it to death. Alrighty, Cattail. This dude is so great. I love Cattail. The Cattail is actually going to go at the very top. It does great damage in my opinion for what you're getting, and it's literally the upgraded version of the lily pad. You literally go from that to that, and it literally gives the lily pad like an 1-up basically because it actually does damage now versus just being something you set other plants on. It actually has like a use now. I think it's one of the better like upgraded plants in my opinion besides the Twin Sunflower, and I just love it. I love it so much. Next you have the Gold Magnet. So I'm going to put him in kind of useless. I really don't see like the need to upgrade him from the regular magnet when the other magnet is very beneficial in the game. With the Gold Magnet, all it does is just collect your coins and your diamonds or gems or whatever for you, when you literally could just do it yourself. I'm pretty fast-handed, so I really don't ever use it. I don't need to. So I'm going to put them in kind of useless. You can argue with me on this one, but I just think the magnet's more effective than the upgraded version of it, in my opinion. Then you got the Gloom Shroom. Gloom Shroom, I'm going to put in average cabbage. I would, not average cabbage. I'm going to put it in mild spicy pepper, like very high, I would say probably. It's literally the same thing as like the other one. It just shoots out the fumes, but in different directions. I honestly don't really use this upgrade a lot. I think it's okay, for the most part, but all in all, like, that's just my opinion on how I feel about it. Alright, then we got the Spiker Rock. So basically, it's like the spikeweed, but it does like way more damage and stuff. So I'm going to put it on cherrybomb.com just because it does like a greater amount of damage. It's pretty cool for the most part. Oh no, I don't really use it a lot, but I do use it more frequently than like some of the other ones. Now, Winter Melon. This one is going all the way up. All the way up. One of my favorite One of my favorite plants to use, honestly. I'm going to put it in Plantastic. It's the upgraded version of the melon one. Clearly it's just the ice version, but what's cool is it literally not only does the regular melon damage, but it also freezes. So like you're getting like basically like an extra perk with it, and it's like super nice to have like an upgrade like that where it can like do more, like more for you pretty much, and I love that. Now, the only reason why we're on this page is because I'm literally going to show you what this guy does. This, guys, is the Cob Cannon. So it's the upgraded version, basically, of the Kernel Pult. So with it, I was not going to, like, try to figure out how to say all of this because there is a lot about this guy. So once you place it, you can manually launch the Corn Cob onto an area that the player targets. The Corn Cob will explode and deal, like, that amount of damage and to all zombies in the 3x3 area, like the Cherry Bomb. Which is cool, though, because you are literally controlling it, though. And it's basically giving the Kernel Pult, like, a better upgrade, so that way it does more. So, with that being said, we are going to put him at the very top. That's where he's going. Wait, where'd he go? I thought I lost him for a second. I was like, where'd he go? He's going at the very top with the rest of these guys. I honestly think like these plants are some of the better ones in my opinion. Like I said, this is my personal opinion. You guys do not have to agree with me. We all have like our own opinions about like certain plants and stuff. So I'm going to put the plantastic ones at least in the order by which ones I think are the best. So I'm going to do it like this, I would say. Probably, let's see, put that there. Put you there. Put... I'll probably put him last, and not like anything personal. He's just a highberrycherrybomb.com. I would say this is all in all like kind of the order I would put them in. I'm not gonna really do the other ones like that. But yeah, this is basically how I feel about the plants and from the first Plants vs. Zombies game. If you guys would like me to do a part 2 where I do the zombies from the first game, make sure you guys leave a like on the video and comment down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for post notifications so you guys don't miss a video. Also, make sure you guys comment if you guys agree or disagree with certain ones in this list and let me know your guys' opinions. I would love to hear them. Like I said, make sure you guys subscribe and hit the bell for post notifications so you guys don't miss a video by me. And as always, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!